Right, folks, so it's a legal dispute between the National Housing Trust and security companies for almost 10 years and counting. But what's at stake? We asked attorney Gavin Goff, partner at Myers, Fletcher & Gordon, our good friend here, Smile, to review the case with us. So, morning, Gavin. Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Hope all is well with you and your family.
Yes, we're all doing well. We're keeping safe. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. I've heard this story for so long. So let's start there. Are security guards contract workers or are they employees?
Well, the fact is that there's no court case that says that all security guards are contract workers or are employees, and you're not likely to get that. It's something which really determines on the facts of each case. And so that's what's unique about what we're seeing happening now, which is that instead of there being an individual security guard taking a security company to court, what we're seeing is now NHT going after security companies one after the other, etc. So it's really now the first time we're seeing a kind of wholesale court actions taking place by the National Housing Trust.
Sir, Empress, what is the NHT claiming? What are they suggesting? What's going on with that?
Well, the NHT, they're claiming that the contributions which have been made by security firms on behalf of their guards have been made on the basis that they are independent contractors. And of course, independent contractors pay a different rate than what employees pay. And in fact, employers would also have to pay a portion of the NHT contributions on behalf of their employees. So what we have is that the security firms have not been deducting employers' contributions because they maintain that these guards are not employees. And so it's really the employer's portion that the NHT is seeking to get, retroactive, sometimes going back a decade at least.
So to the value of what? How much money are we looking at that NHT
billions.
Is claiming?
In a word, billions. Some of the cases I've seen, they've been claiming $300, $400, $500 million from the security firms in terms of retroactive payments. But also, if the NHT succeeds, then former security guards, even existing security guards, may also want to bring their own claims for other benefits which they say that they would be entitled to them.
You know, what I'm trying to understand, Gavin, is when the security guard is employed or contracted, and I know a lot of employment contracts, it doesn't speak to, or should it be speaking to the contribution that should be made in the different areas? Is it that that didn't happen when they were initially engaged with the company, the employees?
Well, this problem has been going on for decades. Some contracts do speak to the status as independent contractors. Some are silent on it. And some seem to say that they are independent contractors, but they then give them certain benefits like sick leave, vacation leave, which are features of an employment relationship. So it's not uniform across the entire industry, that's for sure, which is one of the reasons why one single case won't necessarily mean that every other security guard company was going to suffer the same fate, even if it goes against one particular company. But it probably will make it more likely if one is ruled a particular way that others might follow in the same fashion.
Gavin, is it as simple as if you're a contract worker, you're in trouble, and if you're an employee, you're all right? Is it that simple or no?
No, I wouldn't say it's that simple because the issue is not so much what's happening now and going forward, but the issue is really what do we do about what has happened in the past? Because actually, you know, from what I've heard, many of the security firms don't have a problem with treating their guards as employees because they will just pass that cost on to their customers. And of course, the number one customer for security services is the government. So it's passing on that cost to the government going forward, which is one of the complexities of this particular situation, because the NHT, as I understand, is coming under some pressure from both within and outside the government to settle this matter as opposed to taking it all the way to trial and court.
I want to go back to the workers now, the contract workers, the employees. How many people have been affected, meaning they can't actually access their NHT loans because of this complex situation?
I don't really have that data, but from what I understand, we would be talking about the majority of the guards in the industry. So we could be talking about maybe, I don't know, 10,000 guards, probably more.
Yeah. Empress kind of asked the question already. So if the security companies, if they lose against NHT, they have to pay up some money, right?
If they lose against NHT, they would have to pay up some money if they have it.
Yeah.
Fact is that the size of these claims is such that I don't think any security company would be able to pay. You would immediately see a host of companies going bankrupt and closing up. And of course, that might have its own issues in terms of employment and unemployment in the sector, because these security guards wouldn't be easily reabsorbed. So it's a very, very big problem.
All right, so spin the coin around. What if the security guards win? What happens then?
Right, if the security guards, well, again, it's not the security guards who are
the companies, yeah.
It's the NHT, which is part
right.
of it. So if the NHT wins, then yes, it's possible that some security guard companies, most of them, will eventually have to close this aspect of their business. Some of them will actually go out of business. If the security companies win, the status quo might remain the same, but I do think that there is absolutely need for urgent reform, because our laws really aren't doing the security industry any favors at all, and they need to be looked at.
What could some of these reform laws look like, Gavin, going forward after all of this?
So, for instance, we need to take a look at the minimum wage payable to industrial security guards and find out whether that is something which they can live off of. Because one of the reasons why security guards actually want to be treated as independent contractors is that they are unrestricted in terms of the number of hours they can work and the number of days they can work. They can work 7 days a week if they wish. Employees are not allowed to do that. So some of these regulations, which are fine for employees in other sectors, might not be suitable for the private security guard field. So I think it's about looking at it again and making sure that the regulation itself is suitable, because what we're likely to see is that where the laws aren't keeping up with reality, both the security guards and the security firms are likely to want to have their own arrangement. Yeah,
I know it's in the courts, and obviously as a lawyer, certain things you can say and certain things you can't. But from the law standpoint, who is in front here, you think?
Again, it's hard to say. I'm not involved in the cases, so I really can't give an indication of how it's likely to be ruled.
Right.
But I think the main point here is that I don't think anybody really wants to have this matter go all the way to trial. I don't think anybody thinks that that's the best way to resolve it. They may have no choice but to. But I really think that negotiation is what is in everybody's best interest.
So what you're saying, Gavin, is that can happen now. They can come together at the table and come to an agreement as to how to move forward without it actually going to trial. So that's what can happen.
I mean, I understand that one of the trials is coming up later this month. But the fact is that the courts are always interested in having the parties arrive at some middle ground, if it's at all possible.
Final question quickly. As a security guard, I'm in that position now. It would mean that I can't get anything from NHT, right? So if I want to build a house and stuff, it would mean right now, as things are, I can't get anything to go build my house, right?
No, I wouldn't say that. They have been making contributions, but on a different basis, the self-employed basis. So they would have been making 3% contributions, as opposed to the 2%, which would normally be paid by an employee. It's really the fact that the employer's portion is not what has been handed over. So they do have benefits there, and they are getting refunds, are entitled to refunds of their NHT contributions, even as is right now.
Okay, fantastic. Always good to see you. Stay safe.
All right, thanks, guys. Take care.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Attorney Gavin Goff, our friend here at Smile, partner at Myers, Fletcher and Gordon, just giving us a little insight into what's happening with the NHT and security companies situation. I want to big up all our security guards here at TVJ. We saw some of them in the feature. Keep on doing what you're doing, securing our facility, securing me, because I have to deal with Neville, so I really appreciate you.
There's more to come on Smile. Yes. Before the break, here's another rewind performance from Live Song with Love Strong.